Hey, hello again, Beat Baseball World. We are back with another fantabulous episode of the Beatball Blues Show with Neil DAWG, the 2000 offensive MVP. And it's just me, no Bam Bam. Well, we're going to start a little controversy about why he's not here. Before I bring in our guest to talk about that, just a quick couple notes. One, did finally get the Beatball Blues Show podcast up and going. I want to say thanks to Axel Cox of the Jets and to Stephen Guerra of the Minnesota Millers and the MBBA secretary. Both were instrumental in helping me make the Beatball Blues Show a podcast. So thank you to both of you. I don't know how quickly it's hosted right now on Spotify. I don't know how quickly it will spread to Apple and other places, but look for that. It should be pretty quickly if it hasn't already started, and hopefully you will follow, subscribe, rate, review, do all that good stuff, and help us out if you can. We will always appreciate it. Now, on to this week. We have this dude who came out of nowhere, pitcher in the league, brand new for the first time last year, his first time pitching in the World Series, and all he managed to do is help his team get to the championship game where they are runner-ups to the Indy Edge. Jeremy Lopez of the San Antonio Jets, welcome to the show, my friend.
Man, thank you for welcoming me. Thank you for welcoming me. It's a pleasure.
And you had an incredible start to your pitching career. We're going to pick it all apart and dive into you finding the game and all that stuff. But, man, just right off the top, talk about the run you guys went on last year and what it was like for you. You'd been around the game, so you knew all about the World Series and what it took. You watched the Jets get to the championship game before you were the pitcher right there on the sidelines. You were able to watch it. But what was it like for you jumping in for the first time and going on that run you guys went on?
Man, dude, last year was very exciting, man. It was so exciting to get there and just to actually be in a game and be in a tournament that was so serious, man. And to be out there with the Jets, one of the greatest teams in the league. It was crazy, man. It was a crazy thing. And it's just, let's get to this last game. Let's get to this last game. Let's get to the last game. And the Blackhawks gave us a scare. They took us out on our first game, and we had to come back and get them on the Friday, man. We played 4 games on Friday.
I know. We're going to talk about that. All 4 of them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That is the. Honestly, I've said it on the show before. It to me is the most impressive run I think a team has ever gone on in one day coming up through the losers bracket.
Man, that's awesome, dude. That's awesome.
It's incredible what you guys did. So, talk about how you found the Jets, how you got involved in beat baseball.
It was Lupe Perez's sister, man. It was his sister. She took me out to Chicago one time, or we went to Chicago, and that's where I met the Jets. That's where I met Kevin Simpson, and that's where we came out, man. She just said, "You want to go out there and watch some beat ball?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do." So we went out to Chicago, and I went out there and I helped Kevin get the balls, shag balls, and all of that. And I don't know, Kevin had his eye on me the whole time, man. So he had his eye on me, and that's pretty much how I came into the game, man, was because of her and that little game right there, man.
I'm curious, kind of like what came first, the chicken or the egg kind of question. But when you, because it came out that you guys knew, the team, that Kevin was pitching his last season, the 2021 year. Like before that, did you have a feeling like, because I've been around a ton of people seeing beat baseball for the first time, and there are some people are like, man, I want to try pitching. Just like right out of the gate, they're like, I want to do that. You know what I mean? Were you like that? Were you interested in trying pitching, or was it Kevin's leaving, we need to find somebody, and you just developed an interest? Which came first?
I think it was Kevin, man. I think it was him, man, because I didn't have any idea about the game. I'd never seen it, never heard of it. never been around it, you know. So it was just a blessing, man. When Kevin laid eyes on me or whatever, I don't know. I guess he saw my arm when I was shagging balls. I have no idea, man. But he kept on smiling at me the whole time. And then like he pulled Lupe's sister to the side and was like, you know, hey, you think he would want to pitch or he would want to try it or something like that? And she was like, yeah, let me talk to him. So she came and talked to me or whatever. And I was like, yeah, I would love to, man. Cause I mean, I grew up playing sports and stuff like that. And it's competitive, man. It's a competitive sport. It's fun. I like it. You know, when I first went out there and experienced it, man, it was a beautiful thing. You know, I saw the athleticism in it and I was like, yeah, let me try it out. So
what kind of sports background do you have? Did you play sports growing up, or do you do other sports now? What?
I did. I played sports growing up, man. I'm a pretty much natural athlete, pretty much. You know what I mean? Like I've always been good at sports and stuff like that. I just
Right.
never pursued it throughout high school and after that. So like as I got an adult, you know, I played a couple of adult softball games and stuff like that. It's just, you know, life gets busy and life plays its
Yeah,
role
yeah,
and life has
yeah.
its obstacles. So like I didn't pursue it. And when this came along, I just, you know, I snagged it up, man. And I fell in love with the game.
You got any special hobbies or anything? Anything unique you could tell us about Jeremy Lopez away from the game of beat baseball?
Man, dude, I was about to say beat ball.
No, I mean to everybody else that is unique, right? Like
Yes,
other people
sir.
you meet in the world, they are like, you do what? Right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it
Uh,
is, man. It sure is. But no, man, I'm a welder by trade, so I do a lot of that when I'm not doing beat ball, and I also do a lot of side work when I'm not doing beat ball. So like I'm always working, man. I already got my daughter. I'm always working, or I do a little bit of welding, you know, for fun and stuff like this, and then I also do welding for my job.
Is there like a specialty? Like I know little about welding, but like my first thought, my one of my older brothers is a good car mechanic, and
Okay.
he does like all his own work. In fact, now that's really what he does as his like main income. He goes around and finds like cars that need to be fixed up, and he just takes them to his garage, does everything he can to get them better on the road, and resells them at a higher price or whatever. But I know I've heard him talking about like, well, like my first thought was like, my brother, he doesn't do his own welding, I don't believe. I was like, my brother probably like having your handiwork around. Is there a long-winded way to ask you? Is there like a special thing you like to work on with welding, or a specialty that you're best at?
Yes, man. So like I'm I'm certified in aluminum and stainless steel and
All
also
right.
carbon. So like I like to make like roses and stuff like that and bracelets out of stainless steel.
Oh well, declarative stuff or
Yes,
jewelry.
sir.
Jewelry. Oh
Yes, sir.
wow.
Yes,
Like
sir.
like literally, I never would have thought of that. Like I didn't. I don't know how that stuff gets made or whatever. So
Man, there's a
that,
lot of stuff that goes into it, man. There's a
that's
lot of
really
stuff that
cool.
goes into welding. Yes, sir.
That's
There's a
really
lot of
cool.
things you could do with it, man. There's a lot of people that do like artistic welding and stuff like that, you know, make sculptures or whatever.
I had no idea. That's cool though.
Yes,
I
sir.
like it. I like it.
Yes, sir.
So, circling back into beat ball, you're taking over. So, Kevin, man, Kevin Simpson, you didn't just replace any old pitcher. Like he's just like one of our best pitchers of all time. Which he is easily one of the best two or three pitchers that ever pitched our game at this point, in my opinion. But he also was an icon in our sport, is an icon in our sport, like outside of pitching. Like Kevin Simpson's been a huge name in beat baseball since the 80s. So you weren't taking over like some little chump, you know what I mean? You're stepping in some big shoes. I'm curious how quickly you felt like you were gonna be okay with it. Like what was a moment for you when you're like, you know what, this could work out all right?
Man, that's a good question, man. That's a good question. So like the first game that I ever pitched in was a scrimmage against the Blackhawks. And Kevin shadowed me during a couple of pitches during that game. And then I met him at a practice one time and he was I practiced a little bit with him there, and then it was all the ball's yours, the pitcher mound's yours from here, you know. So he was just told me, you know, you have to love the game, man. You got to fall in love with it, and I did. So I got out there and I started pushing the Jets like every weekend, man. It was, I mean, from from that World Series on to the next World Series, from I think it was what 2021 to 2022. So
Right.
from 2021 to 2022, man, I was pushing them. Let's go every weekend, man, every weekend, and they were about it because you know they knew I was new or whatever. So you know they actually put that work in, and they came out to practice almost, I mean, every weekend, man. And that's pretty much when we started doing that, and everybody started flowing with each other. That's where it was. Even throughout the week and stuff, I would practice with Lupe, man. I would practice with him the most, and me practicing with him is what really brought me into, I mean, a little bit more love into the sport, you know. Like it was
Lupe has a different intensity.
yeah, man.
To put it mildly.
Hey, man. I got love for Luke, man. I really do. I got a lot of love for him. He has some crazy moments, but we all can, you know what I mean?
I've known Lupe. I've known Lupe over 30 years, man. We were teammates. We were friends before we were teammates. He stayed here in my house many times.
Yes, sir.
I said what I did with love, man. When you were talking about those practices with Lupe, I know exactly. I could picture every moment of it because I know Lupe so well. So
Yes, sir.
that's
Yes,
Luke
sir,
Dog.
man.
Luke Dog.
Oh, Luke Dog. I call him I call him Luke D O double G.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you know, coming out of the season where you know Kevin's last year, going into 2022, I jumped into the fun with DB as far as like putting my own like rankings out there in Beep Ball Nation. And when I put out my first ranking, I had moved you guys down to number 4, and I actually even had you guys a little bit lower at like number 6 before I put it out.
You know we
And
were like 18, man.
no, I had you like number 6, and then I moved you up to back up to number 4. And I remember talking to Axel Cox about it, and he's like, "Dude, number 6, dude, don't put that. You'll embarrass yourself. Don't put that out." Oh, but what it came down to for me, like I knew that the talent was there, and but I needed to see it first. You know what I mean? I know you hadn't pitched like in a World Series type game or that like a tournament during the main season yet, and before I could just say, man, there's still a contender. I've got to see it. But right after the Chicago tournament, I think that no. Was it Indy or Chicago? Chicago.
It was
Right
Chicago, yes,
yeah,
sir.
right after the Chicago tournament, I moved you guys back up to number 2 and left you there all season because I saw that you were gonna be all right.
Hey, Nilla, I appreciate that, man. Wait till you gotta put us at the first, man. You're gonna put us at the top this year, bro. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
I haven't
We're gonna
totally
do it, man.
committed to doing my own rankings this year, but in the end, I've got to. Just like Seth says, like very few people out there got bigger egos than DB and myself, so I've got to like stay in the ego race. You know what I mean?
I hear it, man. I hear it.
I you know, I had a conversation with Axel like the weekend that Kevin told the team it was going to be his last year, and you know, at that time they didn't know what was going to happen. You know what I mean? It was all brand new. The feelings of it were all raw, and you know, the future of the team was in question a little bit in that moment because they didn't know who or what. And I remember telling Ax like, man, you know, you're the product you guys have, the athletes you guys have, it's too good for you not to figure it out. You know what I mean? I don't know what the
Right.
future holds for you guys with the pitcher, but man, in 1999, the Dogs won a championship with the pitcher who gave us 69% contact. And
Huh.
you know, it's like if we could win a championship with 69% contact, you guys could go find somebody who'll get you 70%. I feel
Yeah,
confident. I feel confident in that, but obviously you exceeded the expectations, man, and
yes,
man, I
sir.
couldn't be more impressed with the first year you put up. And on that, I do want to talk about the World Series itself, but real quick, last December was the first ever All Star Weekend showcase, and you ended up being one of the two pitchers that got to pitch in that. And I remember thinking going in, even with the good year you had, you were still a rookie being thrown into an all-star situation. And the other pitcher, by the way, is another one of the pitchers that I put in like that top three of all time, Jared Woodard.
Yes,
And I
sir.
was like, man, it's like it's a lot to put on Jeremy Lopez, but man, over the 2-day event, the 3 games, the home run contest, our long ball contest, all that stuff, dude, you stepped up again. Like do you
Man,
ever like get caught in the moment feeling like it's too big? Do you not think about it? How are you hitting these
man.
big moments and not tripping?
I mean, I know all of these situations are huge in life, man. For me, especially, man, it was a pleasure and a blessing to be out there with everybody in the All-Star games, to be able to experience all of that. I think it helped me out tremendously, man. Yeah, it's I in this whole situation, man, it's a big to me. It's a big event. So it's just like it's just so exciting, man. It's a very exciting thing for me. It's an explosion of excitement. So I mean, it's just a pleasure, man. Like it's a blessing to be out there. But I mean, it doesn't bother me, man. It doesn't make me lose my pitching skills or anything like that. And that was a rough one, man. For me, when we got the Texas team put together, it was the third game. I pitched, I think, 90%, and Jared was like a little bit higher than me in the 90 percentile. And then the games before that, I was like close to 90, in between 85 and 90% on those 2 games, man. So it's just a whole bunch of different bats out there and stuff like that. And I didn't hit some people that I wanted to hit, but I hit some people that, I didn't think, that I didn't think I was going to hit as well. So it was just all fun, man.
That that was the impressive part for me, is because like you're not just going out there pitching to your own batters. Like you're getting new hitters that you hadn't pitched to before, and you're having
Yes,
success
sir.
right away. And then like for the third game, things got changed up again a little bit. So you know what I mean? You got a whole new lineup again on Saturday, and man, you came through all the way around. I applaud it, man. You had a terrific rookie year. You should be proud of all of it.
Man, I appreciate that, man. That means a lot, man. Yes, sir. Especially since I've watched some of your videos, man. You and Seth's videos. I've watched a couple of them, man. Y'all played
Well,
with Lupe's uncle.
we did, Johnny Guzman. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, no, Seth and Johnny were quite a bit closer than Johnny and I, but yeah, no, we both played with Johnny. That dude was an amazing athlete. He was an
Heck yeah,
amazing
man.
athlete. He's so fast. I remember my first year was 87. My first year like really playing. I got going in 86, but I didn't play in any real games or go to the World Series till 87. And I played on the North Bay Nemesis, who Johnny had played for previous years. But he
Okay.
didn't play with them in 87. He didn't play at all in 87. So I didn't know Johnny. And then the following year, because back then we had so many teams here in Northern California, we had a little league. And we had games, like home and home games with all the teams in the league, then like playoffs at the end of the year and all that stuff. And my local team here in Sacramento, the Thrashers, our first game was against the East Bay Blaze in 1988. And I didn't know, we didn't have Facebook and stuff back then. So teams didn't know anything what to expect going into a new season. All of a sudden, the East Bay Blaze leadoff batter is Johnny Guzman. And that dude
Yeah.
hits the first pitch and he gets to base in like 2.5 seconds. I was like, what? Like, I've never heard the ball beeping, and the guy's already at the base, man. He's so fast. And that was the bases were only 90 feet back then. They're 100 feet now. But
Yes,
man,
sir.
90 feet bases, you could not get Johnny Guzman. So yeah, we played with his uncle all right.
That's awesome, man.
That family's got some serious all-star blood in it right there.
Yeah, they sure do, man. They sure do.
Man,
They
speaking
sure
of your
do.
boy Luke, like you know, this guy's almost as old as I am, but he's still rocking it. Like, what's your prediction on Luke? How many years that guy still got in him?
Man, that's a teardropper right there because I don't know, man. You know, I Luke this might be his last year. It might not be. You know, we'll see how it
Right.
goes. You know, he's in his 50s now. He still looks like a young man, like he's in his teens or
Still acts like it.
he still acts
Still
like it.
needs his mama taking care of him.
My boy, he sure does, man. I haven't
Yeah,
got to see as much as I would like, but yes, sir. I don't know how many more years he has left, man.
you know, I shortchanged. I was part of the All-Star selection last year, and when I first went through, because there hundreds of people were going through checking out all-star stats or whatever. And when I first went through the stats, I don't know what I read wrong or what I thought I saw, but I misread Lupe's offensive numbers. I don't remember what they are now, but he
14
he
and 14.
he's
Or
yeah,
it was
he still had another really solid year, didn't he?
not one strikeout. He made it to base every time.
Yeah,
He
no,
played he didn't play Friday and he didn't play Saturday, so that's probably why he didn't get MVP. But my boy David got the MVP. So offensive MVP, he tied for it. David did.
Yeah, I don't think Lupe had enough at bat. If I remember right, he only had like 19 at bats, maybe, and you need to like 20 or 25, I think, to make the all tournament team. I don't think he had enough at bats to be considered for the all tournament team.
Yes, sir. But
But
he
he
was
still,
100%, man.
and
100%.
I was thinking, man, well, I don't know what I saw my first time through. I had to apologize to the I didn't have to, but I felt so like negligent and overlooking what he did. I apologized to the selection committee for not being
Yes, sir.
diligent with my work. So yeah, he had another solid year. Man, so let's talk about the World Series, and especially because I want to get to this run you guys made on Friday. So our World Series, for anybody that's just kind of on the margins of checking this out, the World Series is a double elimination tournament, and by the time you get to the championship game, there's an undefeated team and there's a team that has one loss, and that team has to win the championship. They have to beat the undefeated team twice, whereas the undefeated team just has to win one game because the other team already has one loss on them in a double elimination situation. Now, I've done it both. I've been on the team that went all the way undefeated, and I've had to come up through the losers bracket. And the losers bracket is a much longer road than what the undefeated team has to go through. It's one of the things Seth and I have talked many times long before we ever started doing this show. What a tremendous advantage it is for the undefeated team. They've played less games. They've got less mileage on their legs. You know what I mean? Whatever. That's why you want to be the undefeated team, because it's an easier road to take. Very few
Yes,
people
sir.
have gone down after that. So you guys lose early in the tournament, and you're coming up through the losers bracket. And people also should know it's a 5-day tournament, with the tournament starting on a Tuesday and the double elimination part starting on Wednesday. If I remember right, you guys lost like Thursday morning to the.
I think it was Wednesday to the
Was it
Blackhawks.
Wednesday to the Blackhawks? All right.
Yes,
So
sir.
then Thursday gets rained out.
Yes, sir.
So
We were playing Houston.
right. You guys, some games had started on Thursday, but they had to call the games on Thursday because of rain and lightning, and we were just never able to get the tournament back going again. So everything that normally would have taken place on Thursday had to take place on Friday, which is already a busy day. Like
Right.
for your team to get to the championship game, you already know you're playing. You have to win 3 games just for the right to go to the championship game. But one of those games gets moved to Friday, so puts 4 games in front of you. And this is how you guys ran it down. It started out Friday morning at 8 a.m. You guys played the Bayou City Heat, who is the team that finished in 8th place in last year's tournament. And in my opinion, like talent-wise, roster-wise, probably had a top 4, if not a top 5, like roster talent-wise. So that's a
Oh,
very,
definitely.
very talented Houston team. You guys beat them 20-11. Then you guys play another game at 11 against the Boston Renegades, who finished 5th. They've been one of the league's top programs. They because of COVID, they missed a couple years, but before that, they were a top team. They finished 5th last year. You beat them 15-5, an experienced Renegades team. Then at 2 o'clock, you guys play the Philly Fire, who
Oh
finished
yeah.
4th, and,
Yes,
and
sir.
they're an up and coming team. Another team like yourselves had a rookie pitcher. Pat Krause had another great year, also, right? I
He
assume
sure did.
assume you have admiration for your fellow rookie pitcher.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
sure do, man.
Darewell Pat. Gave him the he when he was on the show, he was at his daughter's basketball game. She
Uh-huh.
plays college basketball, so he ducked into a stairwell to talk to us. I'll start calling
Oh,
Stairwell Pat. But you guys play the Fire. You beat them 14-7. And then at 5 o'clock, you gotta go against your arch nemesis, your rivals, the Austin Blackhawks, who had finished 3rd the previous year. They beat you on Wednesday, and you guys come back and beat them 12-7 in the second showing, going 4-0 against 4 top 8 teams. Unbelievable run right there, man.
man, it was awesome, man. I appreciate that, man.
Do you have anything to like add, anything like about those games particular that stand out to you?
So yeah, man, like we knew that we couldn't lose another game, you know. So I mean, we all went in there with, you know, top expectations, man. We just went in there and we played our best game. And I mean, we just started running it, man. It was exciting, man. It was crazy because like you could tell that we just had this energy. The whole team together, man. We had this energy and we was just like, we're not stopping. And when we were tired, man, I'll tell you what, we
Oh
were
yeah.
tired.
Oh yeah.
When we came to that 4th game, I was like, man, this is it. Let's go, you know. And I mean, of course, I was trying to amp everybody up and myself as well. I was amping myself up at the same time, you know. So I mean, those games were fun games. They were exciting games. It's gonna be different this year, man. You know, there's a lot of different brackets out there. There's a lot of different players on different teams this year, man. So it's gonna be different than last year, you know. But I still think we're gonna do it, and I have faith in our team. I think that we're gonna be able to make it, man. So I mean, hopefully we don't have to do another 4-game run, you know.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah. Definitely. Nah, I in 1995, the Dogs finished 3rd for the first time, and we were in the same kind of boat. On Thursday morning, we lost a game, so we had to come up through the losers bracket. And I remember when we had our team meeting on uh, Thursday night, getting ready to go into Friday, just knowing that we had to win 3 to get to the championship game, and we were, some of us were already banged up or whatever, looking at playing 3
yeah,
more games.
yeah,
And I remember telling the team, it's because we were all like football fans, and that's around the time that like preseason. That's always the time preseason's going on, and it's like, man, we just need to look at it like, like we're tomorrow's like final cuts. We don't want to be cut off this
we
team
don't
or
want to be
whatever,
cut,
and
man.
no matter how tough training camp's been, no matter what our body's feeling, if we want a job tomorrow night at this time, we got to go win all our games. And we had a similar like type run. We played the Chicago Cobras that morning. Had Dan Green and Ray Marshall was on that team playing in his last year. And man, we started out terrible. Like going into the bottom of the 3rd, we were down 15-4, and we ended up outscoring them the rest of the way and winning that 18-17.
Man,
Um,
that's a game right there.
and then the very next game, we were playing the Wichita Sonics, and the same kind of thing. They jumped out ahead 12-3 early in the game, and it was the same final score. Man, we made a run, we came back on them, and ended up winning that game. Same score, 18-17. Then we had to face Frank Mathena and the Fort Worth Roadrunners. And it was another game where we were just chasing them the whole time. And in the bottom of the sixth, we had our last little run, but we came up short and lost 22-19. But that's the closest that I could offer for like a personal level to what you guys did, and it's still not even close to what you guys did.
I mean, that's pretty close, man. That's a battle in itself, man. That's
No,
definitely sounds like a battle,
it
a
was a
comeback
tough run.
battle.
It was a tough run. At that time, Eric Mazriegos led off, and I batted second, and he was the last out, because Eric kind of sucks or whatever. But I hope somebody makes sure that gets back to him. Thank you. But
You gonna read your neck, Neil.
honestly, dude, my legs were so shot that I was in the on deck circle, like talking to myself, like, honestly, if Eric scores here, I don't know if I could run another base. Like my both of my quads were just shot, man. And I was like, I was asking myself, should I tell coach he needs to put somebody else in, because I don't want to ruin this little run? And then Eric saved me, and he got out. So, but I mean, like, I don't know. I guess I mostly brought that up. Like, I could kind of relate to the run you guys were facing, man, and sitting back and watching each one of those games and how you guys played was just like an amazing thing. I've never seen a team make a run like that in one day. That was amazing.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Well, brother, man, I don't really have a lot else for you. Do you have anything else you want to throw out about yourself, your Jets? You guys
Man,
got you're gonna be at you're not gonna be in Indy. You're gonna be in Chicago in 2 weeks, right?
yes, sir. We're going to Chicago. We sure are. We sure are. Man, all I got is I'd like to see a lot more Jets on here, and I'd like to see some of the indie teams on here as well. If
That's
you can
fair.
reach out to some of them guys, and maybe they can watch this, and maybe they'll get on here. I'd like to hear their story and stuff like that too.
Yeah,
I mean, I got to play with a couple of those guys in the All-Star game. I got to play with his name's Justin. I got to play with Justin Holland. I got to play with Top G, what's his name? Gerald Dykes. I got to play
Gerald
with him.
Dykes. Yeah.
I got to play with Kalari a couple of times. We had a game against Oklahoma, the new team Oklahoma.
Yeah.
The Tim's pitching for.
The Lookouts. Yeah.
Yeah. So I went out there to Oklahoma and pitched for the board, and we played against them. Did you get to watch that or no?
I did. Yeah. Yeah.
Heck yeah. So that was also another game right there, man. Those were some different bats in themselves, man. There was a lot of different bats in that. I got to play with Steve Guerrera. I got to play with what's his name from the Philly Fire?
Johnny
Hogwood.
Marches. Oh yeah,
Hogwood.
Scott Hogwood. That's my boy, Hogzilla. That's Hogzilla. Speaking of him, I remember for the All-Star showcase, man, dude, I was concerned about you, like, ending up in poverty, because I heard you tell them, like, if they didn't have the at bat, you thought you were gonna give them. You're like, hey man, I'll buy you a drink later. It's like, man, don't do that with these guys. They'll run your wallet dry, dude.
Nah, man, that was definitely a good time, man. I think it upped my game even more, man, and I'm just excited for this year, man. I'm ready. It's gonna be, like I said, it's gonna be a change. It's gonna be a battle. It's gonna be fun, We'll really be able to see what's gonna happen when we go to Chicago, man.
Yeah.
Because we get to see all these top teams. There's at least the top 5 teams will probably be there. We get to see them. We get to see what we're about. They get to see what they're about, and we're just gonna battle it out, man. Good old competitive beat ball,
Nice. Well, I look forward to it. I'm not going to be at any of those tournaments, but I am going to be at the World Series this year. And I can't wait to kind of be there and experience you guys live, because I love all the songs you're singing. And you when you guys are rolling, you got a swagger about you that reminds me of the old Dogs days. I one thing I loved about our team is I thought we had more swagger than anybody. So
That's
that's
awesome, man.
probably my ego talking, but I was proud of our swagger, man. We got out there, we didn't care, and you guys approach it that same way. I appreciate that. I dig it.
Hey, you make sure that you tell Seth if he doesn't watch this that I'm upset with you, man. I can't wait to be able to see him in person.
You got it. We'll definitely get him out here the next time. You mentioned, getting more Jets out here. I'll make a note that Zach Arambula and myself will be joining Richie Flores on the Big Noise podcast this week, doing some kind of more fun preview type stuff with the Indy Bonanza that's coming up. So hope people check that out. So you will have one of your Jets getting a little more airtime this week.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait to tune into that, man.
All right. I hope everybody checks that out. I hope everybody checks this out too. We will be
Yes, sir.
back. We're going to be back over the next few weeks covering the tournaments. Demetrius Moro, my boy Demo, is going to be joining us for some of the recaps. We'll try to get some other guests involved too. And
Awesome.
we'll be back checking everybody out then. So thanks for joining me, Jeremy. I appreciate it. It was fun getting to know
Yes,
you.
sir. I'll get
Thank-
to see you in the World Series, man.
Yes, sir. I'm looking forward to that. I look forward to seeing everybody. I haven't been there since '09, and man, I just this world right here, Jeremy. These my people. I need to be with my people for a while.
Man, that's awesome.
Only get a few days out there, but I need it, and I can't wait to be around it. Looking very forward to it.
I think you got a lot of hands to shake, man.
I hope so. Like, this go where I find out if people appreciate my big mouth or not. It's like, man, people are gonna be coming up with a bat. Like, you said this about my team, getting all mad.
I think it'll be all love, man. I think it'll all be love, man.
I hope so. I'm not much of a fighter. I don't want to get my ass whooped, Jeremy. I ain't much of a fighter.
Carry you a wand with you, man. You'll be all right.
Indeed. All right, man. That is it for this one. Thanks to Jeremy. Thanks to Frank Porter. Thanks to Chris Jackson for helping out when he can. Thank you all for checking this out, and we will see you next time. Take care.
All right, man.